Thank you to my members for making this video possible. You guys are the best. Mwah! Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. This week I wanted to do another unscripted video. I've done a couple before, but I feel like I haven't done one in forever. So I'm doing another one now. Ever since I got my hands on the debugging menu, I've been just kind of like running through the game, looking around at bits and pieces and appreciating the game on a level I probably previously wasn't aware of. And I say probably because when you play through the game normally, and when you've played through the game as much as myself and probably most of you have, you do appreciate the game, but you know, there will always be things that go over your head. So I just wanted to share some like oddities. I don't know if oddities is the right word, but just some stuff that I previously hadn't really like properly been like, oh, that's actually really cool, or oh, like I never noticed that before, even in my hundreds of hours in the game. Like, you know what's so funny? A couple of people in my Discord have asked me, why don't you like post stuff for the algorithm? And my legitimate answer to that is that I just like don't care for the algorithm. I never have. I just want to post what I want to post. My channel isn't doing well algorithmally or doing well within the algorithm, but I just don't care. I just want to post and share what I want to share. And this week I want to share some stuff that I previously hadn't really appreciated before, but I was perhaps always aware of. And the first one I want to share is right in front of us right here. And the brilliance with debugging is that I have this camera, and it is these two statues of these like crucified men. Crucified, maybe not crucified, maybe petrified. Petrified is closer. But what's so interesting is that when you look at them, they really do bear this weird resemblance to Frampt and Karth in kind of like the way that they sit, and these like ever so slightly distinguishable humanoid features, but then obviously perhaps a closer look at them, it's very clear that they're not exactly humanoid. This is the first area in the game, like I've run through this section so many times, and I've always known that there were statues here, but recently I've just been getting a better look at them, and it is really quite curious. They are quite curious, and I'm kind of wondering what if there is any semblance or resemblance behind them. They're quite Karth and Frampt-esque, but they're obviously not primordial serpents. I think it would be very on the nose if you're running through the asylum and you get right here and already Karth and Frampt statues are sitting here waiting for you. I'm not quite sure what they're meant to be, because when you get a better look at their faces, they almost appear to be dog-like, with two little ears here and here, and the snout. I mean, but yeah, see, when you look at it this way, like they're quite dog-like. There is a picture of humanoid within them, but yeah, this is the first thing that I have learned to appreciate on a new level, because I'm able to get an even closer look at them. But yeah, how many times have I run through this asylum and this bonfire, and I've always just kind of walked past them and into the asylum like this. But to me, they're just so odd, and I love odd and curious things. It's so important that in our lives we are curious. We have to be curious and remain curious, because what is life without a bit of curiosity? It's curiosity that makes people play video games, I think, to begin with. But yeah, this is the first thing that I want to share with you guys. And if anybody has any like theory crafting, or if these two statues have been revealed in a lore sense, please do let me know, because I can't really rack my brains to find out what these things are at all. All I can sort of think of is, yeah, this looks like Karth and Frampt, but it's not Karth and Frampt. But perhaps it's meant to be this false idol image of Karth and Frampt, because the statues are, I think, like the body at least, is very Garth and Frampt statues, and you'll know it best if you've played Dark Souls 3 because statues of Frampt is everywhere in Dark Souls 3. And obviously there's that really famous one at the end of Sister Frida's arena. So we're in Firelink Shrine now, obviously, and this statue is something that I have recently began to really be so enamored by. And actually, if you've watched any of my videos, you might notice that I use this statue. I think the shot is like this, right? Except my fat character's head is not in the way, but it's just a shot of this statue, and just I think I'm so enamored by it because when you first get here, like a mother holding a baby in front of a pool of like pristinely clear blue water with these mysterious doors that are underneath the water, and an empty chest next to her, because obviously this is the chest that fills with any majorly important items that the player might miss, but obviously you wouldn't know that on your first time coming through here. But I've been more enamored by it than ever after finding out that it was actually meant to be a shortcut. I think the statue itself was meant to be a door that would later kind of move to the side, and you would go through it, and it would lead you, I think, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I will try to find it on Google, but trying to find any kind of concrete things about the content in Dark Souls 1 specifically is quite difficult these days. It seems mostly lost to time, but if I remember correctly, it might be in the design book, one of the official books. I'm pretty sure this statue was meant to be a door that would move to the side, and I think Andre would be the one. He would be the key to having it moved out of the way. It would be a path downwards that would lead you into Lost Izalith directly. I don't know. I will definitely try to do a bit of research and maybe put something in editing, but I'm about 93% sure this statue was intended to be a door that would later on lead to be a shortcut, and that's why I've been so intrigued by it more than I have previously been. Okay, so I did find on lokisouls.com, my beloved, by the way. Lokisouls.com is a great website with all kinds of everything in vast detail about Dark Souls, but this is all I could find. You can see here in this image, Andre, this is Andre, and I assume this is the player character right here. Andre pushes the Firelink statue out of the way, which then leads to some kind of mysterious hole. It says here in the design works, Andre was originally planned to be related to Gwyn by blood, as this revelation would have coincided with him revealing a secret passage to the Firelink chamber behind the goddess statue in Firelink Shrine. Okay, so I was wrong. It wouldn't have led you to Lost Izalith. It would have led you to the Lord Vessel. You know, I was right about it going down, but I went a bit too far down, I think. But yes, Loki lore is great for literally all things Dark Souls. Every single thing you could possibly imagine, Loki has covered. But yes, this is why I love the statue these days. Ever since finding that out, funnily enough, the statue looks different to me. Like, just the environment as a whole. Environments within video games look a certain way, if anybody gets what I mean. Like, they look a specific way. They look like an environment. But ever since I found out that this was perhaps meant to be a shortcut, the statue looks different to me. It sort of looks more present within the environment. Typically things that you are meant to interact with, or items that are intended to stand out, look different from the environment itself. The statue looks that way to me now, and I think I recognize it because this pillar is directly in front of the statue. Suddenly I saw the kind of HD-ness of the statue that I hadn't previously recognized, and also the shape around it became more clearer to me. It's shaped like a doorway, no? But yeah, no, that's why this statue intrigues me more than it ever has, and I'm more curious about it than I ever have been, because suddenly I feel like I've been awakened, and when I look at it, perhaps maybe for too long, I think, oh, it does look different from the environment around it. It does purposely stand out more than it should. Next, we take a quick detour to Valley of Drakes, and this ledge here, the one I'm running across, not this side, this side. For the longest time, I wasn't sure what the point of this was. I thought maybe perhaps it was just here to make it obvious that this is a valley or a canyon or some kind of death trap, you know? Like, I thought that's why it was here, to make it obvious to the player that this is a valley or something that will kill you if you're not walking and paying attention properly and, you know, running like this, hugging the walls as close as you can. And I just thought that this side was completely useless. But then one day I summoned the witch Beatrice for both Moonlight Butterfly and the Four Kings, because by chance I saw her summoning sign for the Four Kings and I thought, that is quite weird. Why is Witch Beatrice here wanting to fight the Four Kings? It's such a bizarre thing. Like, the Moonlight Butterfly and the Four Kings are so different from one another. Like, why does she want to fight two such weirdly, vastly different bosses? And then, for whatever reason, maybe I was just making sure I didn't miss anything before I went to fight Gwyn. I was running back through the valley, and obviously you go like this, and I think I wanted to go to lower Darkroot Garden. Oh my god, I can't remember any of the names. And by chance I was running across this bridge, and then out of the corner of my eye there was an item sitting like here, across right here, and I was like, what on earth? Like, that was not there previously. And it turns out that if you summon the Witch Beatrice for both Moonlight Butterfly and the Four Kings, that is the requirement. And that's what the point of this curious little, otherwise seemingly completely irrelevant edge is for. It is where the Witch Beatrice leaves her stuff. But yeah, no, that's why I love this ledge now. This ledge is one of my favorite curious things in this game, because it's so comically like boring. Like it's like, oh, this is just there. Like, it's just there. And then only the most dedicated of players, I suppose, would find out that this ledge is for items. Like, that's where the Witch Beatrice leaves her items. And now I look at it like it's a secret, effectively, I suppose is what you could call it. It's a secret, and it's only revealed to, I imagine, a very small percentage of players, because realistically we are not summoning the Witch Beatrice for the Four Kings. Now this kind of weird shape here makes sense, because obviously this weird part is like really close together and then it separates again, and that is the genius of Miyazaki telling the player that perhaps these are close together because you can jump across it. I love this ledge. This unseeming ledge in Valley of Drakes is now a beautifully curious area to me. And the next curious thing that I learned to appreciate is this seemingly, or actually completely, pointless corridor. This is just nothing. It's literally just a complete and utter nothing burger. There's nothing here. This corridor is just absolutely nothing. No item, no invasion event. As far as I'm aware, no secret item like the previously spoken about Witch Beatrice. I might be wrong though, but I'm fairly certain that there isn't a secret lying here later on down in the game. This entire area, by the way, down here is also a nothing burger. I think that this is a cut content thing. We know the pure genius of how cohesive Dark Souls 1 fits together. So for instance, you can see bell gargoyles over there, but then there's this nothing here, and this is also nothing. You can access this giant here by going up this ladder. But all of this land behind him, this staircase that leads also to nowhere, all of this is also nothing. So I can't help but think that this bridge was intended to show the player, oh, on this side there's this downstairs area, that is where you came from, obviously. But then on this side, there's this whole other mysterious area that you can access. But obviously, whatever this was got cut, or maybe it wasn't anything at all. They just needed to sculpture the rest of Sens Fortress. But I love this silly, comically pointless bridge corridor type thing that is literally nothing. There's nothing here. There's nothing for you to do, no matter how many times you come back here. Again, I'm pretty sure there's no secret waiting for you further on down in the game, but if I could put anything together, I would say it was meant to show you through world design that you could go down this area somehow. Perhaps you would fight the you'd fight the giant, and maybe this wasn't here, maybe this was something else, maybe just a small staircase that led you up to this, and then that would lead you to wherever, because there's Sens down there. Obviously it's not loaded in because the player is so far away, but yeah, that's all I can really think of it being. It's so curious. I love it. It's such a curious thing. Originally, I really disliked it because I hated it because I was like, this is so pointless. I'm angry at how pointless this is. But now the fact that it's so curiously pointless, I love it so much. Why is the Boulder Knight guarding it if it's just nothing? But yeah, just a small unimportant nothing thing that I love, because perhaps it played a much larger part at some point in the past, but unfortunately now we will never know what that once was. A very swift move on to Anor Londo now. You guys already know that I love Anor Londo. I made a whole video about it if you would like to watch my video on Anor Londo and why it is slightly off-putting. But aside from that, this curious thing is not the staircase, it's actually what lies on the right side of this staircase. It's this really unseemingly just random path that actually leads you over to this chest, which I believe has a titanite in it. Yes, demon titanite. Probably what the majority of players did is they ran down here, they saw the bell gargoyle, they probably fought the bell gargoyle, they run back and they're like, oh, this is weird, and they see this, then they're like, oh, I guess I must go this way up in towards the cathedral. Like, I don't think a majority of players would ever breach this path, you know. I think this chest is so curious because it is weirdly out of the way. Because if you look at it like this, as in like the perspective that I am showing right now, from a game design point, this side looks like a nothing thing. But this side tells you that you should probably go this way, and the staircase is telling you that is this a barrister? I don't know, this has like a official fancy Latin name, I'm sure. The ledge that takes you up, you know. If you look at it, if you fight the bell gargoyle and you come back this way, your camera's like this, I would say you would end up doing this, and when you drop down here, the camera doesn't immediately show you that there's a doorway here. Like, when you drop down, your perspective is just straight on this ledge and you probably would just run straight up it. Like, does that make sense? Again, I think I'm not making much sense because I'm really, really bad with words. I need obvious stairwells and ledges that lead me exactly where to go. And that's what I mean. I don't think the majority of players, it wouldn't cross their mind that even though both of these little corners are open, I don't think the player would like just run off like this. I don't think they would just run and then keep running. I think because the game is showing you that the left side here, I say left because if you're like this is your left side. I think the left side is way more inviting than the right. I would say that there's no yellow paint here. Technically, the right side perhaps maybe should have some kind of yellow paint, just like the left side does, but it doesn't. But only a curious player would be rewarded with the Demon Titanite if they chose to go that way. So that's why I like this curious little section right here with half yellow paint and half no yellow paint, I suppose. So now we're all the way in the painted world of RMS, and some of you might already know what I'm going to say due to what is in my hotbar at the minute. This statue right here of Velka, I believe this is Velka, is very curious. Funnily enough, in a video about curiosities, once you have this shortcut open that leads from the beginning all the way into this courtyard, there'll be a bunch of Demon Souls-esque phalanxes around the bottom of this statue of Velka. I've taken them out for sake of ease to explain what I'm going to explain. With some very complicated setup, I will link a video, or if you fancy it, cheat engine, which is how I got this unseemingly uninteresting item in my hotbar. You can, if you watch the bottom of my screen here as I approach the statue, you can invade Shiva in completely vanilla. I don't have any level of mod installed. For instance, I'll go back to the title screen. No Daughters of Ash is appearing. No mod is on there. You can see offline, app version, regulation version. Everything is as it should be. In vanilla Dark Souls, you would use this black eye orb that you get from Lautrec after he kills the firelink maiden. So you will have to defeat the Bell Gargoyles and Quelaag, so Lautrec kills the Firekeeper. And then you can use his black eye orb, and through some setup involving the player being on top of this, and I think it's some kind of item swap glitch, you drop down and through item swapping you can use the black eye orb. But as you can see, I can't use it at all. And then as I approach this statue of Velka, I can invade Shiva. Again, this is, I promise you 100%, this is completely vanilla Dark Souls. The only thing I've done is spawn in the item using a cheat engine because I didn't want to do the item swap glitch. But if you don't want to use cheat engine, you can see at the bottom that it's a bit bugged out a little bit. If you don't want to use cheat engine, you will just have to keep hold of the black eye orb that Lautrec gives you. And as you can see, we are in Arimus, and right here is our good friend Shiva and his little ninja friend. And what's also interesting is that the debug menu actually works on them too. So you can see here that I have no dead, no exterminate, and also no move and no attack, and it applies to them too. Yeah, you can invade Shiva, and here's the statue of Velka, and then this way obviously through here. Look, we're in RMS, completely vanilla RMS, no mod installed, nothing. This can be done in completely 100% vanilla Dark Souls. And here you can see that he's wielding the original Chaos Blade, because obviously with his cut content involved you getting Quelaag's Chaos Blade, and then he would steal it from you. And then you would invade him here, all the way here, in Arimus of all places, and then you would kill him and get the blade back. Target destroyed. As you can see, the black eye orb is gone from my inventory. I only have the souvenir of reprisal. The only orb I have left is the one that you get from Lautrec. That's because I didn't do the item swap glitch that involves you falling off this crate. Perhaps if you're on console and you don't have access to cheat engine, you could do the item swap glitch. But if you're on PC like me and you're incredibly lazy like I am, you can just spawn in the item using cheat engine. But yeah, it's why I love this curious statue of Velka, because when you come through here originally there's just a bunch of phalanx all around the bottom and you're like, that is a bit weird. It is a very, very curious statue indeed, because it's the only one and only piece of cut content within Dark Souls that is still in the game and completely accessible through vanilla means. Go ahead and invade Shiva in 100% normal Dark Souls Remastered, which is very, very cool. And what's even more impressive is that it's in Dark Souls Remastered, not just the original game, not even Miyazaki put it in the remastered version as well. So I like to think that this curious statue is another one of those secret rewards for only the most curious of players. So that's everything I wanted to show, or everything I could at least remember that I've learned to appreciate on new levels after playing through the game countless amounts of times. I purposely didn't include some of the more famous curiosities that everyone enjoys, like this altar, for instance, in Undead Parish, that was just completely never explained to anyone. And also the 2 open chests in Ulasil, for example. I purposely didn't include those because they are famous and everybody finds those absolutely curious. So just know that I do know they're here, and I find them just as curious as everybody else does, and I love them just as much as everyone else does. But I wanted to show some more of my unknown is definitely not the word, and I think the word I'm looking for is something similar to possibly underrated, should we say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I do love making these really casual videos. They are very, very fun to make, and plus it's less editing, which is always fun, you know what I mean? If anybody has their own curiosities in Dark Souls that they enjoy, please let me know in the comments, because I probably missed 1 or 2 that you might have noticed and I never noticed, you know what I mean? So please do share your own if you have any. And other than that, until next time, praise the sun as always, as you should be doing. You should be praising the sun. And stay curious, my friends.
Don't you dare let yourself go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.